Name for the finisher. When we get there, we've got some guinea circuits. So lots of little guinea circuits. We've got one for the legs with the leg feed. We've got one with the back feed, one with the arm feed, one with the shoulder, one with the core feed, and then finally, the finisher is all about the chest. Anyway, I'll explain all shortly. All you're going to need today is a set of dumbbells. Okay, if you've got a bit of variety, great. If not, like me, I'm just going to use a 5K, averaging all out. Okay, anyway, let's get warm first, and then I'll go through the details. Right, so we're going to start.
Maybe get split up on me back here in a year. Between the last beat and the smoking area where we are now, yeah, right here. Taking the hope and we don't have to wait that long. Feel like when you jump to your feet, tell everybody I want you to love this song. Grab my hand, hold it quick, this way to mine. We got back inside and lights sparkle behind. Your hands move the distance between us, you and I. We're the higher end of the circle of light, everyone's in that best and looking bright. It's gonna be a good night, you know?
Lots of little mini circuits, each with a little theme. Excuse me, open the window. Stuff in here a minute. So let's open the door. Right. So, our first theme, I'll just explain each one as we go. Legs. We've got a little pulse rate, but always 3 exercises. And you've got 2 that hit the muscle group that we're sort of targeting. So, our first one, not too bad, 30 seconds on each one leg, 10 seconds rest. Loaded bunny hops, I'm just doing 3 rounds and then quickly move on. Okay, so loaded bunny hops. Dumbbells in hand, keep them soft, just little side to side hops. Okay, as simple as that. Exercise 2, full squat, hard squat, it's all body weight now. So a nice full squat. Okay, knees out. Up, just halfway, back down, back up. Down, halfway, down, all the way up. Okay, all the way down. You don't come all the way up, stay halfway, back down, back up. Okay? And then the last one is a forward hop squat. There's a little bit of power in this one. So it's a nice full squat, remember, the knees come out. Okay, the glutes sit into that gap. Come up, a little hop forward, back, hop. Just a hop on the jump, literally that. Okay, but it's enough to transform regular squats, really needs the quads. Okay, literally that. And then back in, when you land, try to make it as fluid, like a human spring, in, hop. Okay, right, those are your 3. 30 seconds on each. 3 rounds. And it's just a little rest while I explain the next one. We'll just keep moving through. Right. So nice and easy for the first one. Loaded bunny hops. Loaded bunny hops first. riser. Star jumps, not jacks. Okay, so that's the jack. That's the star jump. A lot harder in this heat. Okay? So, you're all the way down here before you land. That's the difference. If you'd rather do a power jack, that's fine. A little half squat, that's okay. And then, your two light exercises, you've got hip row. So you're going to do bent over row, rather than coming to the waist, it's an aid the hip. So it essentially increases the load. Yes, you're going to row, you're still rowing, you're not doing this. I'm still rowing up. See the difference? That's just swinging it on. Okay, row. Row. And then the last one, fly and fly, you're going to hinge again. Yeah, press the knees apart. Hips goes back. Okay, and then pull them apart. Okay? Right. Let's get it done. Star jumps, hip, row, and try and fly. Hitting all those pulling muscles up. Okay, here we go. Right, ready, go, 1, 3, 2, here today, you're not going to be floor jumping for miles. You're talking half a metre to a metre, right? So burpee, forward, hop back, to the start point, or shuffle back. Okay, then, burpee, curl and lunge. So you want your heavy end of your scale for your biceps. Squeeze and drop the knee. Squeeze and drop the knee. And the last one, tricep extension. All the way down, all the way up. Yeah, so just do a curl. Oh, the burpees, yeah, sorry. So just do, which bit do you want to do? The burpees, so just do a broad jump. And then, just do that. So just leave the burpee out, don't feel the burpees, that's fine. Right, okay.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Right. You ready then? Tricep extension. All the way down. Tap the trap.
Sorry lady, Gucci and Bentley, who you with tonight, sugar baby. Sorry lady, heads in the frenzy, we can go freak up, we can go crazy. Sorry lady, Gucci and Bentley, who you with tonight, sugar baby. Sorry lady, heads in the frenzy, we can go freak up, we can go crazy. Sexy, sexy, loves to kill, yeah, sexy, sexy, loves to kill, sexy, sexy, loves to kill, yeah, sexy, sexy, loves to kill, sexy, sexy, loves to kill, yeah, sexy, sexy, loves to kill, sexy, sexy, loves to kill, yeah, sexy, sexy, sugar baby.
Horse raiser. We're going to do some pivot lunges. So you can use the dumbbell. If you're not, what you do is face this way to the side. In that lunge position. Up, pivot, drop, drop, drop. Okay, you want to make it a bit tougher. You go overhead. And let that dumbbell come down the centre as you turn. And shoulders is the theme. You're going to move. Standing, strict press, lower leg movement, lock out, touch the shoulder, and as many as you can. From the shoulder, unlock. The last one, 6-way raise. Right, again, you've got to lock in the glutes. Go back on this one, it's quite tough. So, lateral raise, in, all the way up, and then back the way you came. 1, 2, 3, 6, just 1 minute. If that thing is quite tough for a lot of people, but for everyone, make sure you lock your glutes, find yourself into the ground. You don't want to be doing this though. Okay, that shouldn't happen. Yeah, you should do that. See the difference? Right. Here we go. Shoulders. Pivoting lunge. Strict press. And 6-way raise. Okay. Right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Pivot. chest effects, okay? And that brings us to our final challenge. Superman. Okay, so, taken to its extremity, it is very tough. So you need to set yourself a target. So, basically, every 30 seconds, the belly's going to go, okay? And every time that bell goes, you have a set number of press-ups. We're going to add 2 every single round, okay? So I'm going to start with 6. 6 press-ups on the first 30 seconds. Then the second 30 seconds, I'm going to do 8, obviously that's 2. Then 10, then 12, then 14, then 16. While it doesn't sound much at the start, those last 3 rounds, you're trying to get in a lot of press-ups in those last 2 minutes, and you'll start at 6. So bear that in mind. You might have, it's extreme, it's very hard to complete that. It's on the edge from each side. Starting at 4 is still very tough. Okay? Or you might just want to start on 2, just to see how far you get this first time. Because the other thing is, when you've done your reps of press-ups, you're going to hold the Superman pose, which is the opposing muscle group. So it's that posterior chain down the spine. Okay, so you're going to front, back, front, back, front, back. Yeah, so first 30 seconds goes. Let's say I've done my 6th, and on the 6th one, I'm going to go in to Superman and hold till the bell goes again. Okay, then I go back into my press-ups. Adding 2. Quick word on press-up form. Remember, you're an arrowhead. Yeah, you're not a T. If you're doing press-ups like this, you're never going to do it. Okay? Pull your elbows, pull your shoulders downwards. That look. Make your hands as deep into your pockets as you can. That's where you want to be, your press-ups. Then keep that tension. Now bring your heel up with your hand to the lower chest. About there, look. And that is your perfect position. Okay, engage and relax. Also, okay, we're going to do 2 strict of 4, but I always like to keep it so it's measured, so chest to floor every time. If we can, I'm going to do my best to do that. I might skip a bit, the last round or 2 maybe. But I will try to make every rep, bang, hit the floor with your chest. Okay? That's what you want to get aiming for, otherwise it's not really a strict press-up. Right.
At the back.
It is extremely tough. So, what are you going to start on? 2, 4, that's what you need to make a choice.
2, Dave.
2, 4, or 6.
8 for you.
Right, do the
I'm going
maths.
for 10.
So what press-ups?
You can do 10. I think it's 1.
I might do 6 now, but I won't be able to.
Right.
You can easily do 10, Jackie. You can't see the
So the Superman theme tune is going to play to get you through it. Okay? That's exactly right. It's taking from 6 to 20 or 4 to 18 or 2 to 16, whichever you choose. But if you don't manage it, that's fine. That's why it's called a challenge. Okay? Because it's meant to challenge you, right? Okay.
I'm going to start on 6.
Go for it.
And finish at 10.
That might be the case. Just do it. Get where you get to, that's it. You reach failure, you reach failure. Right. Here we go then. 3, 2, 1.
Just.
Nice, Nick. Well done, everybody. Give that one more done. Well done at home.
I died at 40.
Get hydrated.
Game over.
See you Monday. The elevator. Have a great weekend, everybody.